Hey everybody, welcome to an exciting episode of PitchUs. See, it's the new year, and with that is we've actually launched pitch competitions. So please check out our website. We're going to be launching these throughout the year. No idea what the prize pool is because we're going to keep trying to grow it. So if you're new here, go check it out. Submit a business idea. It can be about anything. We just want to get to know you guys. We're excited to have Allison Roberts with us today, as well as Jeff Erickson, our co-host. Jeff, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. My name is Jeff Erickson. I'm with a company called Forecaster that does financial modeling software to make financial modeling easy for founders. So you can check us out at forecaster.co. Also an angel investor and startup mentor. So super excited to hear Allison's pitch today.
All right, Allison, go ahead, share your screen, and then pitch us.
Sounds good. All right. Okay, we good?
We're good.
Yep.
All right. So, Fastercise provides convenient fitness for super busy people. The problem that we're solving is that fitness is inconvenient. 70% of Americans don't get enough exercise. Similarly, 52% of the world's adult population is trying to lose weight at any given time. And the number one complaint with fitness is customers will say, I want to get in shape, but I just don't have time for this crap. And so this is a problem that we're solving, and players who are able to solve this problem will win big in the fitness industry. Our solution is Fastercise. This is a fitness method that was created by my dad, Dr. Dennis Wilson. He researched 8 years to create this convenient fitness program, and he discovered shivering is the body's fastest calorie burner, and you can burn between 300 and 500 calories in just 5 minutes of shivering. So, he's a real whiz. He understands a lot about the human body, references over 200 studies in his book. So it's a very scientific background with a very simple application. I was the first person to use Fastercise, and this is my own before and after picture here on the left. 2 days before I had my baby on the left, and then 8 months later on stage at a bodybuilding competition just doing Fastercise. So as you can see, this was a huge transformation for me. And after my own personal experience, I decided that I wanted to bring this to the world so that everyone could get in shape in 5 to 10 minutes a day. So I began training other people one-on-one with what I call our paper prototype. So I trained them with phone calls and text messages and Zoom calls. Over 300 people I trained this way. And you'll see on the right, this is one of my first case studies, Indira. She was able to lose 65 pounds in 6 months with Fastercise, despite having arthritis and no thyroid. She had a thyroidectomy, which doctors said would make it almost impossible for her to lose weight. This is the foundation on which we built our Fastercise platform. We have the competitive advantage of extreme convenience. Some of our major competitors in the industry are calorie counting platforms and exercise platforms. These are other digitally enabled solutions, but we outcompete them in a few different ways. For calorie counting, obviously you have to restrict your food intake. And with exercise, you have to exercise like 30 to 45 minutes a day or go to the gym. But with Fastercise, you can exercise for 5 minutes a day, anywhere, anytime. You don't even have to change your clothes, and we don't require any calorie counting. So every complaint that customers have with fitness and its inconvenience are taken care of with our product. How it works is we have this custom platform, and so we'll create a customized daily routine for you based on your goals, track your progress as you go along. We'll educate you how to do this brand new fitness program. We're also adding in gamification and group support, and those are going to enhance it to make this much like a Duolingo for fitness. We're poised to be able to create Fastercise to be the Duolingo for the convenient fitness category. Our business model is we have our standard monthly subscription of $14.99 a month, and that's what's available for purchase right now. We also will be adding in personal trainer upsell as well as monthly supplement upsell. And these options you can view as a la carte. Once people are on the platform, they can choose to have these additional options. Because some people prefer the white glove hand-holding experience. Some people would like dietary support and things like that. Our user acquisition rates are climbing. So we went from about 12% user count creation back in April of 2022. With some of the changes that we've made, we were able to bring that up to 64% in October, and that's held pretty consistent since then. I also want to note in the last 2 weeks, I have been able to increase our annual recurring revenue by 45%, which has been a pretty significant jump for us. I was able to get my first investor check last month, and I've used it, I would say, quite well to our advantage. We're currently in 24 country codes across the world with the opportunity to grow internationally quite easily. We now have, I need to update this number, but we now have 1,400 lifetime users and $33,000 ARR on our platform as of the last 2 weeks. Our target customers are typically work-from-home moms or very busy professional moms to either children or fur babies. These women have a lot of responsibilities, and being able to exercise from anywhere really helps them to manage any mom guilt they may feel while also getting the kind of results they're looking for. We also help these other 2 cohorts of traveling professionals and seniors with health issues. They both have their own specific reasons for loving Fastercise. As of right now, at this stage of our company, we're specifically focusing on these moms because they're the ones who are going to talk the most about us. They're going to share it with their friends. And that's where all of our energy and attention is focused right now. I wanted to mention that we are frugal and fierce. So we have bootstrapped Fastercise to this point. Like I mentioned, we got our first check in from an investor in December, and everything else has been from sweat equity and investment that we've put into the company. So we've published a book. We competed in this bodybuilding competition. We registered as a Delaware C Corp. We have an international trademark. We attended our first startup boot camp. We designed and launched our platform. We've been recognized in multiple countries all over the globe. We've been on the news. And we've also been the beneficiaries of several research studies that have come out from other organizations that back up exactly what we're doing and exactly what we're talking about. These are some of the ones that I mentioned. Wall Street Journal just came out with an article about a 10-minute workout you can do that will help you with your daily mental activity and also your wellness. And Fastercise lines up very well with this. Time Magazine also talked about this. There was a study came out saying 2 minutes of vigorous exercise a day is enough to increase your longevity. And then here we are on the news as well. So this area is getting a lot of attention and focus right now. This is our revenue projection. We anticipate within 12 months of getting funded with this round that we're raising right now, we anticipate $1.5 million ARR. And as I mentioned today, we actually have $33,000 ARR on our platform in monthly subscriptions. The total addressable market for Fastercise, as I'm sure you guys can imagine, is enormous. The global consumer weight loss and fitness annual spend is $198 billion annually. We believe that, through the percentage of people who will use a solution, as well as customers who are dissatisfied with their current fitness, we can have a market share of up to $1.7 billion. And we can talk more about those calculations if you want. This is our founding team. I'm the CEO, and we also have my dad, Dr. Dennis Wilson, the creator of Fastercise. I went to BYU, so I'm very native and familiar with the Utah area. And my dad actually graduated from the University of South Florida, which is where I'm from. But he has a 30-year career as a metabolism and thyroid expert. We also have our advisory board with Craig Earnshaw. He's our first investor, as well as John Richards and Tyler Richards with Startup Ignition Ventures. And we are raising $850,000 right now, looking for 12 months of financing to reach 1.5 million ARR on the Fastercise platform, with the following breakdown on where those items are going to be spent. All right, and that is my pitch. Any questions?
Great job, Allison.
Yeah, awesome. Great job.
Thank you, sir.
So this is cool. This is cool. I have a lot of questions, but one of the things we'd like to do is just start off with things that we really liked. So Jeff, why don't you kick it off?
Yeah, Allison, first off, you are a great presenter. And so awesome job. Very good. And overall, your slides were really well done. They looked really professional. There were one or two in there that maybe I'd clean up a little bit, but for the most part, excellent job on all of that. There were things that I was writing down going, okay, is she going to hit this? Is she going to hit that? And you covered them really well. And so I thought overall you did a fantastic job. One of the things I thought was really, really good was you mentioned that it's the Duolingo for fitness. I love that comparison. The traction that you've got, I think, is solid. Where you've got 300 people you've trained personally, and then it led into 1,400 people on the platform already, and some revenue coming in. So I thought all that was solid. Great job. I'm curious to hear what Tim has to say.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of it. I mean, there's a lot of things in the deck that we would love more people to do. This, I would say, from the get-go, this is very clean. Your cadence was really good. I think a lot of people tend to when they get in front of investors, talk really, really fast. And they try and squeeze a whole bunch of stuff in. I don't even know what your time was, but I was just so invested in listening to what was going to come next. And obviously we're coaching in this case, but also, listening for investments. So it was really easy to listen to. I love the background, the way that it was started. It made sense where it all came from, why you guys decided to do this. I really like the traction elements that you have, you being the first person and then testing out with some other people. I think that's brilliant. And then thank you for ending with an ask slide. No question. I love that. That's like my thing. So thanks for doing that. But overall, I would say this was a, top tier pitch, just the way that it is, if you didn't change anything. So let's start there.
Okay, great.
Great job.
But now let's help you with those little bit of things. So Jeff, why don't you kick it off with some of the areas that you would like to see?
First off, on the timing, it was like 9 minutes. And so, I mean, it was solid. I mean, this was perfect. Like Tim said, the cadence was excellent, and you just seemed really comfortable through the entire presentation. So great job. The first thing that I wanted to mention was on your competitive advantages slide. That was one that kind of stood out. It seemed kind of messy. I had some highlights in there and all that, but I found myself drifting a little bit, going, okay, what am I reading here? What am I looking at? Trying to bounce through, but while trying to listen to you at the same time. So that was a little distracting, just from my perspective. And so that was one thing. Let's see, the other things, there wasn't a ton to pick apart, in all honesty. That was kind of your competitor slide as well. I might have gone back to say, let's look at, were you competing against anybody else? But I kind of got the sense that, no, this is different enough that, I don't know that there is. But I guess one question that might come up to me is, what are the barriers to entry? You did establish your dad as an expert. That was one thing that I would go back to, is maybe diving into that a little bit deeper in establishing him. And I'm fine with you, just saying, hey, this is my dad, but it can be distracting at sometimes, going, okay, wait a second, is this family business? How far along is this? And so that's one area where I might ding you a little bit, is on the team, because most investors are kind of looking for, okay, if you're going to kind of take this to the next level, what does the team look like? Okay, it's you and your dad, and I think you supplemented that, okay, with the advisory board. I actually know the Richards, and so, and I know Tim does as well. Great advisors, so that's a positive thing. But I think you could maybe do a little bit more around the team, saying, okay, here's my expertise, marketing and getting this out there. My dad's the brains behind all of this, and who else do you need on your team? Maybe it's on the finance side, John is a financial guru, right? He can kind of act as kind of your fractional CFO, if you will, or something like that. What else do you need on your team? What are you kind of missing? So that was one area where I might kind of tighten up a little bit in terms of team and how that works maybe going forward. The other thing, Tim mentioned that you ended with an ask slide, which is awesome. The one thing that I had about that is that you didn't really end where you left it up. you went through the ask a little bit quick, and so I wanted to come back to it, and then you moved to this is where it's going to be spent. And again, I don't think I had quite enough time to absorb that. The good news is that you had me curious enough to go, okay, I want to go back and look at that. So I think you left it in a good spot. If anything, I might leave that up for the Q&A session where it's like, okay, let's look, you're raising, $850,000, and this is going to get you to 1.5 million in ARR. I'd probably dig into that with some questions a little bit, but overall, fantastic job.
Cool. I'm taking notes over here.
Oh, take notes. We love it. So let me add to that. So I'm going to start with the team. Jeff spent some time there. It's okay, and this is for a larger audience, it's okay not to have everybody on the team. But one of the things to keep in mind is you have a kind of a new mousetrap, right, in a way. Fitness, there's billions and billions of fitness people and programs and P90X and huge competitor list. We could go on and on. So really, this is a marketing play, right? Can you outmarket the competition? And that's the question that I have today. And I don't know if that's true. I don't know if your team has that capability, and I don't know if your investors have that capability. In this case, we all know your investor pool, and one of your investors is very, very well respected by his investments. So in the Utah market, that's really, really good. Outside that, they wouldn't know who any of these people are, and that's just neither here nor there. But what's important about that is, and I'm going to tie this into the ask slide. Clearly, it's my favorite slide in the whole deck. But we don't know how much they invested, right? You kind of like hit some of the high points, what you want to spend it on. I kind of think of that as a full summary slide. So I would add some more details. Remind us what the company name is, what the product is. Talk about the terms of the deal. There was no terms section in that. And then we don't know how much Craig or John or any of the other people put into the company. So bring that around. And that's just a really beautiful another traction element that some people tend to leave off, and you really shouldn't. And I know maybe you've pitched this recently and just haven't had time to update the deck, and that's fine too. But with that being said, I would make sure that all your numbers are the same. I noticed that you had 33 ARR on one slide and then 23 ARR on two different slides. So make sure that those are all the same. It just it's one of those little things where you're like, wait, were you 23 or are you 33? And I know you're early, so it's a small thing, but it makes a huge difference.
Totally.
The next thing with that is make sure you increase that font size. So I love that you started with yourself as the client, but I think you could break you and the other person apart just to give you some more room.
Okay.
That would give you a lot of space to, this is Jeff's thing, but we love to see like no smaller than 22 size font. It will really help you kind of position the things on the page. I think other groups say like no more than like 7 or 15 words on the entire slide. So I don't know about that one, but there's just some things to think about.
Okay.
You didn't really mention competition. I think this one's very apparent, so it'd be impossible to list all of the other things. But what I would suggest maybe is categorizing different types of fitness programs. So you have like Noom is probably the most competitive of what you're doing, and they're like $1 billion. I don't know, they're killing it, right? But they're doing like the psychology of health and things like that, So it might be worth it to think about like, you're a program. You're not like a P90X or whatever the larger body is, but kind of see where you fit into that. This is actually where a 2x2 metrics really works well because there's so much competition. Like you mentioned, speed, like that 5-minute thing. I have heard you pitch before, and I do know the question comes up is how is this proprietary? Like what keeps people from kind of stealing this concept? I do think that's an important slide for this presentation. Or it's a really solid appendix slide because you're going to get asked it.
Awesome.
I call them they're like your softball ones. And then I would add a slide in here. You do have kind of this, you've got some traction on sales, but during that slide, there was a lot of words to it. And I was trying to look at what the conversion was from. So you had 14%, 20%, but I didn't know, were you spending money? Were you just talking to, I didn't know where that was converting from. And in this case, where it is a marketing play, it would have been nice. But the next slide said, I think you spent $4,000 on ads. So it would have been nice to have those kind of really cleanly on one slide, because then I have something to compare to. I'm being really nitpicky because I really want you to take this to the next level. The other thing here, I think that you could have done a little bit better job was the financials. So this $14, and then I wrote them down. 14, 25, and 40. What I would love to see is, these are my favorite charts in these, is kind of a stacked bar graph of where does that 1.5 million come from. So this is my little secret for people out there. I had to break out a calculator for this, right? So you said 1.5 million divided by 12 divided by 15, right? What I'm doing as an investor in that case is I'm checking for red flags. Do I believe that you can get to 9,000 users in a year? And if I can't answer that question honestly, then it's a no. It doesn't matter what you've said or your background or track, it doesn't matter. If I believe that you communicated that, then it's yes, let me take you to the next meeting, because 9,000 doesn't seem unreasonable, right? Hypothetically for this case. So make sure that those things flow really, really well. And I think missing that, how we're going to get there slide, especially in a marketing business, is critical for those numbers to make sense.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. This is great feedback.
Cool. So yeah, that was a lot, but you started off with such a good place. I think it's those really minor tweaks that will push people over the edge. That's my hope anyways. So with that being said, let's take it to the next question that we ask of all of our investors and guests on the show, is based off of what we've heard today. And obviously we kind of have a previous relationship with you. I've heard you pitch before. Jeff knows you. But based off of what we heard today, not previous conversations, Jeff, would you move this company onto due diligence?
I think this is one that I probably would. I mean, if this is something that I was investing in the space and I was interested in, I think I'd take a little bit deeper dive into it. The things that I would probably, in the next meeting, would dive into the financials and do exactly what Tim was just saying and say, okay, let's go through your projections and do these make sense? You piqued my interest enough to say, okay, there's something here and there's some traction. How are we going to market it and hit some of those numbers? What does that take? Let's dive a little bit deeper. And so, the presentation and everything that you did, I think, set it up really well for that second meeting. And honestly, that's what you want out of a pitch, is you want that second meeting. Doesn't mean that somebody's going to invest, but it means that, hey, you got a second meeting out of it. So I think you got through.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this and I'm going to tell everybody else that I'm talking to that Jeff said he would move it on to the next.
Hey, that's the key right there. Jeff's the golden. He's the golden ticket. But I actually would agree. So I know you don't know me, but my background is health and wellness. That was my first business. I sold it. I built a whole company in this space, was my second company. So I love this space. I think you might have a really unique mousetrap here that has a really unique angle into the market, this 5-minute exercise thing. Obviously, I think one of the things that I didn't mention earlier is diet is such a huge part in this. I think discounting that is not the right move, but it adds to a person's journey. And I think at $15 a month, it's kind of a no-brainer to add into your whatever else you're trying to accomplish. And that might be your uniqueness into the market. But I would, I'm a marketer as well. And so that's what I would be diving into. I would love to hear you present again. And I would love to learn what you're going to do from a marketing perspective, because these guys are spending hundreds of millions of dollars to get attention of these people. And, so things that I'd be looking for is what's your TikTok following look like? how's Twitter going? What's Snapchat? Like those free resources that exist today, and how are you converting through those things? And then if you're doing well there, then absolutely money's just going to take you to the next level. So, yeah, but I'd love to learn more. I'm fascinated. You did a great job. It's easy to see that, yeah, why wouldn't I spend $15 for a 5-minute thing that could make me look better? I mean,
Well,
it's kind of a no-brainer.
Speaking of which, I think we should try and fit in a 1-minute Fastercise demo so that people can
let's do it. Yeah, what do we got to do?
Right. I'm gonna set this up. So, in order to Fastercise, I'm gonna need you guys to stand up if you can. We're just gonna stand up really quick.
I don't know if I can do that. Am I gonna get my belly in the thing?
Just angle your screen up a little bit. All right, so in order to Fastercise, we're going to do the most basic one that we've done. And so it's called the running man. And so you're going to act like you're running in place, act like you're jogging in place, right? But instead of lifting your whole foot off the floor, I'm just going to show my feet, you're just going to lift your heel off the floor like this, okay? And so you're going to lift your heel off the floor, and then you're going to move your arms and legs just a couple inches in either direction. I'm trying to get a good angle here so you can see, like, I'm just moving my arms and my legs just a couple inches in either direction, okay? Just a little bit.
Okay.
And then pro tip, you also want to tense your muscles first before you shiver, because if you don't tense your muscles, you can only go so fast. But when you tense your muscles and then you shiver, you're able to do it a lot more quickly. And the whole point of Fastercise is to do these movements as fast as possible. So ideally, like, we'd never want someone to be like, oh, I can do 20 minutes of Fastercise now. Like, that's not the point. The point is to do it as fast as you can for just 1 minute. And I'm also going to play Thunderstruck by AC/DC because this is the perfect tempo for Fastercise. And we're going to set the timer for 1 minute here. So, on your mark, get set, go! Okay, so focus on your breathing. You want to breathe deeply in, hand out. You don't want to hyperventilate, okay? Now we're going to focus on our legs. Move your legs as fast as you can. Think about moving your knees back and forth very quickly, leaning into the balls of your feet, okay? All right, now we're going to focus on our arms, okay? Bring your arms down to your sides and shiver them as fast as you can. You can see my arms are actually blurring a little bit with how fast I've gotten at Fastercise, okay? We're a little over halfway done now, okay? Keep it up, push it. Tense your muscles and shiver. Let's go, guys. Again, focus on your legs right now. Do those as fast as you can. Into the balls of your feet. Okay, now your arms. Do your arms as fast as you can. Move it all. Okay, we're in the last home stretch. You got 5 seconds left. Go as fast as you can.
Let's go, Jeff. We got this.
We'll go on. I'm sure my neighbors are looking at in the windows, but what in the world?
It's Fastercise.
Yeah, that's intense.
All right.
Wow, that was good.
That was my daily workout right there. You do it, is it twice a day?
So it's a total of 5 times a day for 1 minute.
Okay.
You do it once before a meal, once after a meal.
Okay.
Kind of set up that way.
Okay. I can. Oh man, do you know what? Honestly, I wish you would have kind of said that earlier, because I can see why the app comes into play. Because it's that reminder ecosystem.
That's actually a good point.
Yes.
Yeah,
bring
that's
up
great.
The routine part of it more.
Yeah, like walk us through a little bit of that. That would be good too. That's additional feedback that I didn't know I needed to give, but that's cool.
Is that a rhetorical question, or do you actually want to know?
No, I do want to know. That's
so
because yeah.
So here's how it works. So the idea is that you want to shiver at least 1 hour before you eat, because 1 minute of shivering can burn up to 100 calories and can release so much energy from your body that your hunger goes away for up to 2 hours. So it basically treats your stored body fat as a meal replacement. And so you want to shiver well in advance of mealtime so that you can supplement the food that you're eating with body fat, which body fat is stored food that your body has internalized and is keeping for a rainy day, right? So we're just simply tapping into that resource. A lot of people think, oh, I need to burn my fat by running. Well, what if you could just eat your fat by shivering and then using that to keep your appetite at bay. Okay. So that's the idea behind Fastercise, the shivering. And so you do it for 1 minute before a meal, and then you do it for 1 minute after a meal, because that is an instruction to your body that, hey, these muscles were critical in helping us to be able to get the food that we just ate. So you need to build those. So that brings into play a muscle building element as well. And that's why I was able to enter the bodybuilding competition, just doing Fastercise. These exercises can help replace the need for weightlifting. Now, I want to temper that by saying I didn't win the competition. I think I placed like 6th out of 11. But for only putting in 10 minutes of exercise a day as compared to like 2 or 3 hours for other competitors, I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Oh, man, that was very impressive. I mean, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Well, great, Allison. Thank you so much for being on the show. Jeff, thanks for being here. If you guys are out there and you guys need help, please reach out, pitchus.io, as well as check out our competitions. They're going to be going on throughout the year. And then check out Forecaster if you need help with your finances. And we'll see y'all next time.
Thank you.